Elon went on Tucker's show, and it was fascinating on so many different levels. They talked about so many different things. It was very, very hard to choose which little bits of that to share with you guys. But we do have some bits. And the first one is when he's talking about providing Starlink to the people in Western North Carolina, and how I don't know if you guys saw him have a little spat on Twitter with Pete Buttigieg, like Mayor Pete. He was accusing Mayor Pete of getting in the way, and Mayor Pete was like, please call me. And then they like hugged it out. It was fine. But he talked a little bit about that. Here's a little teaser on Tucker.
You tried to get Starlink. Yes. Into North Carolina, into Western North Carolina, areas devastated by the hurricane.
It is in there, and it is the primary means of communication.
You had conflict with Buttigieg over this.
We delivered thousands of terminals and got all the way up to the areas where they wouldn't let us go any further. And then we're like, okay, we're going to send helicopters in and find people who are stranded and give them Starlink, which I think is, a nice thing to do. They wouldn't let us land because there was an FAA notice that said in order to land, you have to know who you're going to meet with to land. Now, the problem is we're trying to deliver internet communications. People don't have internet communications. We don't know who they are, but then they can't reach us because they don't have communications. Do you see the catch-22 here?
Yes, I do.
Insane.
Insane.
Yeah, it's completely insane. Oh my God, it's so dumb.
Oh my gosh, it's infuriating. But this is literally everything about government, right?
Right.
It's just that kind of bottlenecking, that kind of red tape. It's nonsense.
Yep, it is. It's a microcosm. That's what it is. That's government for you right there.
And he also talked about how he has been treated unfairly as a business owner competing for various government contracts when it's his companies that perform the best, that are the most deserving, but they hate him. The current administration cannot stand Elon, and they will try to cut him off at the knees every chance they get. Here's a little bit about that.
I mean, if you take, for example, the NASA contract to transport astronauts to and from the space station. NASA awarded 2 contracts at the start, one to Boeing and one to SpaceX. Boeing was awarded twice as much as SpaceX. SpaceX has done all the astronaut transport from the space station, and Boeing has only done one transport of 2 astronauts to the space station, and we had to bring them back. Boeing got twice as much as SpaceX. There's this total misunderstanding that my companies have been subsidized and supported by the government and get all these, and it's like, do you really think that a Biden administration is going to subsidize me?
Probably not.
Are you kidding? No. In fact, they take away every contract they possibly can. So, for example, there was the FCC contract to $42 billion for providing rural broadband.
Yes.
Okay. We actually first said, look, we think there shouldn't be any subsidies, so we recommend that this program just not exist. But since you're insisting that it exists, we will compete, and we have better products. So we won, I don't know, about a quarter of it, which would have included the devastated areas like North Carolina and stuff. And the FCC took it away illegally. They just voted. 3 out of 5 commissioners voted away and said, even though you want it, we're rescinding it.
God.
On what ground?
And do you know how many people they've connected?
How many?
0.
It's almost not even.
It's just unbelievable. And somebody in here pointed out Boeing is the one with all the planes that's falling apart. They're falling apart. Isn't that interesting how that works? And they got all the money.
Yep.
So interesting.
Absolutely ridiculous. They also had a bit of a giggle about Kamala just as a person. So here's that. Right here. Wait, why is it not going? There we go.
Kamala Harris.
No, exactly.
What does she have to do with it?
There's no point in criticizing Kamala. She's simply the face of a much larger machine.
Yes.
And she will say whatever the teleprompter, whatever's on the teleprompter, she's going to say it.
Yes.
Now she gets stuck if the teleprompter breaks. That happened recently. I think the teleprompter stalled, and she was just like looping for a while, for about a minute. So I think that happened yesterday or something. It was pretty funny to watch. But she'll just say whatever words are on the teleprompter. So it's really whoever controls the teleprompter is the actual sort of that's who's actually in charge.
And who is that, do you think?
Well, I've tried to pin it down. It's not like any one kind of mastermind. It's not like it seems to be. It's like Kamala's sort of a marionette with, you know, 1,000 puppet masters type of thing.
I don't think it's 1,000.
Like not it's or maybe it's somewhere north of 100 is what it seems like.
Yes. I bet you know 80 of them.
I probably know most of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's yeah, it's definitely not 1,000. I think it's probably less than 100. There's like probably a group of those folks that runs our country. They run our country. We did not elect these people.
Imagine if one of those people is like KJP and how ridiculous of a person she is, like making hugely consequential decisions about our country.
Oh, I think it's dumb people. I think it's absolutely dumbass people for sure. People who have no business running our country, and they definitely weren't elected. And so when they talk about, they preach to us and start screaming to us about democracy, I'm like, here is my giant middle finger. You don't get to preach to me about that, because the people who are actually in charge were never supposed to be in charge.
We also have to remind you about dogs.
Oh my gosh.
And cats. Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, who's the founder of Rough Greens, we've long told you about the benefits of this green powder for dogs. It's a nutritional supplement that you can sprinkle on your dog's dry kibble that's packed, jam-packed with all the vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, probiotics, and digestive enzymes that your dog needs to live its longest, healthiest life, and to help with things like their coat shininess, their breath, their energy levels, their mobility. It's the same thing as you taking a multivitamin for yourself. Why not do the same for your dog? Because they have like just unfairly short lives as it is. So extend it to the utmost that you can. This will help. Rough Greens will help. And now, of course, there is a cat version called Meow Greens. And you can try either by visiting roughchicks.com. You can get a free Jumpstart trial bag of Rough Greens for dogs or Meow Greens for cats. That's this size. It's a lot. I mean, this is full of that health powder. And then the cat ones come in these already predetermined individual packets, which are super, super handy. So you can get a free Jumpstart trial bag of either of those by visiting roughchicks.com. That's RUFF chicks.com, and get your free bag now. Your dogs, your cats, they're going to love it. Even the finicky ones will probably love it. So check it out. Speaking of people in charge, you know that he's had a falling out with Sam Altman, who leads OpenAI, who's like about to be a bazillionaire. And Elon is very open about the fact that he has zero trust in Sam Altman to care about things like AI destroying humanity.
Something like that.
How concerned is Sam Altman about annihilation, do you think?
I think in reality he's not concerned about it. I don't trust OpenAI. I mean, I started that company as a non-profit open source.
Yes.
The open in OpenAI, I named the company.
Yeah.
OpenAI as an open source. And it is now extremely closed source and maximizing profit. So
does risking
I don't understand how you actually go from being an open source nonprofit to a closed source for maximum profit organization. I'm missing.
Well, but Sam Altman got rich, though, didn't he?
At various points, he's claimed not to be getting rich, but he's claimed many things that were false. And now apparently he's going to get $10 billion of stock or something like that.
He's totally getting rich.
I don't trust Sam Altman, and I don't think we want to have the most powerful AI in the world controlled by someone who is not trustworthy.
Who's like a lying maniac. Yeah, I totally agree.
So freaking terrifying.
Yeah, extremely terrifying. I don't trust these people either. I do not trust that dude.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
He also had an interesting theory about why Kamala is doing so well, and it has to do with the Epstein list.
That ever come out?
Yep.
Do you think?
You know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gates.
And Gates.
Gates.
And I only ask that because you just look at them and you're like, that's a nervous person right there. I don't know. I mean, I assume you know them. Yeah.
Yes. Reid Hoffman was my vice president of business development at PayPal.
Yeah.
24 years ago.
Does he seem nervous to you?
Yeah, I mean, he's terrified of a Trump victory.
Because of the disclosure that would follow?
I think, yeah, I mean, I think he's certainly ideologically not aligned with Trump anyway, but I think he is concerned about the Epstein situation.
Oh,
Yep.
damn.
Reid Hoffman, and you guys probably know who Reid Hoffman is, but he's the LinkedIn guy, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's a LinkedIn guy. And he's like this, he just is gross. Just gross. And so is Bill Gates. You know what I mean?
Right?
Like you look at those guys and it's like, I don't know. I look at those guys and I think, that's believable. Totally believable. All of that
Totally
is.
believable.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I think a lot of the stuff, I look at Trump and he was the disruptor. And he disrupted for about 2.5 years until COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had to go into full, oh God, I have to deal with all this bull crap mode.
Right.
And he wants to shake things up again. He wants to drain the swamp. He wants to change things. They hate him because he's not one of them, because he's not an establishment guy. That's why they don't want him in there, because he is going to shake things up. He's going to release stuff like that. He's going to take down people in the establishment, and they can't have that. That's why they hate him so much. That's why Hollywood hates him so much. That's why everybody hates him, because he's anti-establishment.
And they're afraid
And
of what they've done that could be exposed.
Terrified.
And there's a new Republican that Elon was surprised to talk about, but it is his mama.
You know, my mom lives in New York, and it's my mom at this point has gone from being Democrat to Republican, and her friends in New York are having the same experience, because you know what'll turn you from a Democrat to a Republican pretty fast is getting punched in the face while you walk down the street.
Yes.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yes, and then no action being taken against those who hurt you.
And that happened to your mom?
Not to my mother, but to 3 of her friends.
Wow.
This year.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And what do we always say? The number one job of government is to keep its citizens safe.
Exactly.
They're not doing their freaking job, you guys.
Nope. Not at all.
His mother's awesome, by the way. She's
She's
Mae Musk.
so gorgeous.
Oh my God. Badass woman.
Yep. Now, this one was alarming because this is Elon's warning to the world about what happens if Trump doesn't win.
If Trump doesn't win this election, it's the last election we're going to have. The Democrats, the Dem machine, has been importing so many people, bringing in so many illegals, flying in with this like CBP border app thing nobody even knew about, like secret program. That's illegal, basically. It's illegal, but there's no action by DOJ to actually to stop it from happening. They're transporting large numbers of illegals to swing states. If you look at the numbers, these are the numbers from the government website. There are triple-digit increases in illegals to all the swing states, and in some cases it's like 700% over the last 3 years. Now these swing state margins are, sometimes 10, 20,000 votes. So what happens if you put hundreds of thousands of people into each swing state? And when they do so, they vote overwhelmingly Democrat. So my prediction is, if there's another 4 years of a Dem administration, they will legalize so many illegals that are there that the next election there won't be any swing states.
That is horrifying.
I think he's 100% correct.
Yeah. And I'm glad he's sounding the warning bells. You know what I mean? Sounding the alarms.